respecting separation of powers, no say the judiciary gets a system, a mechanism for handling it. And then, of course, on behalf of the executive branch of government, me go provide the necessary support where the judiciary need for fixing challenges, including responding to the issues where they in the letter or the manner in which judges themselves resolve their differences.
Finally,
and then I also want to make you note, say, when I talk about the mechanism, you get the Judicial Legal Service Commission. Where I get representative day, right? Me often get representative day when I the Solicitor General. You understand? But you get other representatives. You get Public Service Commission represented there. You get the Bar Association represented there. Then all the day. Yes, and we also get responsibility for look at them kind of issues. Yeah, so make we allow that system there for operate. Make we allow that system there for function very well.
Well, that's the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Alpha Cisse. We've been there with me at the show now. We're asking the question about Honorable Justice Alan Alloway in complaint about his salary being seized. He's not receiving salary and other benefits away for gets, and also allegations that we make in letter about the Chief Justice taking cases them from and all that. And the minister talk about reforms in the judiciary and all of that. So this morning, I get the pleasure for welcome my very good friend and the former Renaissance brother. You know what I mean? Now been the Renaissance. But somebody where, don't turn up for waiting a believing and in defending the rights of people and democracy, good governance in this country, whether through his practice as a lawyer or as a rights activist or as a citizen, just like that. Augustine Suri Sengbemara, the president of the Lawyers Society, is the first president of the Lawyers Society. And I just want to make it clear that in this program, I invited the judiciary, I've been in touch with them, and said they get back to me. They didn't. And we need to go ahead. We just can't wait. This is a public interest matter. We need to discuss them. I reached out to the Sierra Leone Bar Association, as then sit down at the the JLC, the Legal Commission. Then I get representative there, as the minister say. Said they have a meeting, they'll get back to me. They didn't get back, and we need to move on. Augustine Suri Sengbemara just come home from a vacation, and I reached out and he said, I'm going to come. Good morning, Augustine, and welcome.
Thank you, Lomana.
It is a pleasure having you.
Yes, thank you. I think this is my very first interview in a very long time. Somebody reached out to me, say, waiting there, they don't conscript yourself. I say, no, bruh, I just enjoy some mental break. From time to time, the issues are plenty. You need for withdraw. And then also for preserve yourself. Self-preservation very key. You and I don't depend this struggle for so long. Regime in, regime out, with the optimism that things can go change. But I feel like the more we speak, the more politicians and the bad people and they take this nation south. But I believe, say, part of your vision, vision at Truth Media, for ensure, say, we always push that arc of truth and justice. We not for tire. Because bad people, they take break.
Yeah, they don't.
Bad people, they go on break. So equally, we self for be energized every day. For say, the more we go bad, the more they become defiant for speak the truth.
Like I said,
because 9 days last.
9 days last. Now this will the last. Like I said this morning, what do we need for build this? A movement. We don't try that. Somebody jokingly they say, he hopes say I know they talk about another Renaissance movement again. And that's the idea about it. I got into Renaissance inspired by people like you and other people within a government now. I was inspired by them. And I think what I've been doing, then think say it was important for get me along into Renaissance because that was the idea.
Absolutely.
How irrespective of who side we did, we're able to speak up and
Absolutely.
hold people with power accountable respectfully, without malice and disrespect, within the law as well.
Absolutely.
And that is what Renaissance been they do.
Absolutely.
I remember we then I go go back and forth about what press release to put out, the legal aspects of and all that.
Absolutely.
And we maintain and stay within the law.
Absolutely.
And people might don't know, I mentioned it the other day. I served as communication person
Director,
for
yes.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
I remember the president pool where we call for Black Monday.
Yeah.
Mohamed Banga was Minister of Information then. And they call, man, why they do this? Why una not like this country? Why una and
Absolutely.
I had issues. I was working at Star. I had issues with my boss then, Philip Neville of blessed memory. But it was what I believed in.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
stood by it. I believe in them because I was inspired by a group of young people. We believe, say, irrespective of who side we get a responsibility. We get party them within our government.
Absolutely. By
Yes,
then.
yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they're not being happy,
Yeah.
but we were doing it.
Yeah.
You know, but Dixon can always provoke me, say, been one me about Renaissance. And he been one me, he tell me, say, Paddy, he said, take you to him. It's not genuine. And he can come and tell me, say, I've been warning you. And I can say, yeah, you said it, but I believed in it. And I don't get any regrets.
Absolutely.
No regret serving then.
None.
I served my conscience, and when it didn't work, I left. We all left.
Yeah.
You left.
Yeah.
You've been the inspired. You left. Jimmy left. And I said, bro.
A number of other people.
Let me sell left.
But the fact of the matter is, not to because you get bad apples, no means you not get people that we truly believe in this country who are change agents.
Yeah.
Right? The idea is once you have a coalition of change agents, you can able get a ripple effect across, because no one person able save Salone, because the issues they're many and diverse, right? So now that make you need a coalition of people who are committed, not to for money, not to fame, not to power, not to resources. You're all qualified for Sidona government now.
Yeah,
Some of we are as
it's
well.
a choice.
Yes, but we believe, say, speaking truth to power. Now, the only way we save Salone.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
the people that we get power, we can say, they need people like you.
absolutely.
It's very important for the presidency, the vice presidents, ministers, because you won't know everything. We are all not perfect.
Absolutely.
You need people that will go call you out and tell you, say, no, this that you're doing is wrong, either legally, morally, it's not right.
Absolutely.
And you've already for accept and sit down and dialogue and get a solution to it.
Absolutely.
Because without people who hold you to account, you go just na freeway. You go just do things themselves. Because even within with families them,
Yeah.
couples,
Yeah.
the
Disagreement.
wife go tell the pa say, no, this not right. The pikin go tell the pa, or the pa go tell the wife say this not right. But if you're not there, if they not there, then it's a problem. But like you said, we are here because we're inspired by people like you.
Thank you.
And we believe, say, we get a role for playing. This now we own choice.
Yeah.
Now waiting we don't choose for do. Like you say. Like you can be, you could have been, you qualified to be, you qualified to run for even for be president of Salone.
Yeah, I turned 40 last month, so.
So you see, you qualified. Everybody is qualified, and you get friends in at the government. I can say for be politician and for work in a government, one of the most easy things in this country.
Easiest.
Easy. You just need to belong and get one young person. And now we contemporary and then our government.
Absolutely. And it's what me party in a government and say, if you want to say we work difficult, can set up a government, can set up a business, do you begin criticize government with a business and salon.
Yeah.
In 5 years, tell me if you able to thrive. I say some of who will get we practice na business, or you dey call and law firm on a business.
Yeah.
You dey pay light bill, you dey pay staff them, you dey pay rent, etc. So na business we open. In essence, so whenever you criticize government, it means economically your business is suffer. I say if you can't set up 5 years, you criticize government, let's get a conversation. I say your work is simple.
Yes. So I was telling same to somebody, I talked to somebody late night yesterday before I sleep in the US. And I was telling him how people in the diaspora sometimes don't understand what people here, we stand for waiting and believe in, and try to maintain waiting and they go through. Sometimes you know, they don't get the picture. And like you say, I was saying, but what you do now oversee they do so. Can't spend time here and criticize and like you say, establish a business.
Yes.
The sacrifice where people like you make,
Yeah.
and others as well.
Yeah.
The sacrifice where people they work in a government self make.
Yeah.
Everybody's making sacrifice. It's a choice. But it comes with a cost
Absolutely.
for be that person where the old people and with power accountable. Sometimes it's not even the people that will get the power. Yeah. It's the people that will they behind them.
Absolutely.
Like I said the other time, then throw me box for go watch Nations Cup.
Wow.
Just because I raised question about delay of the flight coming. And later I get to understand, say, it was actually somebody where they support, where they close to one of the ministers. I ain't go show the minister, it tell the minister. And him begin vex now. The minister were involved later and him be they explain me now. He's not a minister anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then take this decision, bruh. Now God help Umar would have been there. Umar was there, Chernobyl was there, Tommy was there, our friend. And they said, no, this is not right. For goodness, then throw me box and begin announce my name.
Wow.
Passenger Amadou Lamganaba, please report. I was like, what thing I don't do wrong? What I said, brother, and throw me box. Say because me they oppose. Why? I said, boy, we don't care for money. Nobody's communicating to us that there is a delay with the flight.
Absolutely.
Best practices you could tell us there's a delay, please, gentlemen. The place was so chaotic. So the things I would go to. I share my story where we start this program about how
the other day me Paddy they talk about how it don't become now common for let them can take file na me and say, oh, we not think say we represent we because since you the Fed government all the time. So you're losing clients in droves. Right? But not only clients, you're losing also friendships. Those people who are in government will feel say, oh, your voice too loud or it's too noisy for them comfort. So those people would always distance themselves, you know, irrespective of the years of friendship and also on a commot. And the idea about building a society is that we are all for be committed to common ideals. Mm-hmm. You know, countries that we don't thrive, then come together during the formation, the Renaissance years in Europe, etc., then come together, they agree on core minimums. Say na then tia will not forever betray in life. Mm-hmm. So now them values and they build society on. You know, yesterday me and Paddy they get conversation. Mahmoud Koma, Isabi Mahmoud was also Mahmoud, still a Renaissance. A wonderful gentleman.
Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful
He's a good
gentleman.
Guy. He still believe in the Renaissance ideology.
They get conversation yesterday, and we agree say the difference between poor nations and rich nations, not resources, now organization. Rich countries and so organized in a manner that everything is almost predictable. When train the left, it's predictable. If you go to hospital, you predictable the services where they get. So the chaos will thrown into neither really the distinction between country and the other country than they. Right? So back to your question about the cost. The cost is huge. But for me, there's nothing else I could do with my life. Some days I wake up and I want to say, Bonami for total salon problem. But no, but like you, there's nothing else you could do. You can't be any other journalist. You can't. You have to speak truth to power. So similarly, myself, I can't be anything else other than, and here's the thing before we come to the old judicial saga. Me sitting here, now 5 years on, Justice Alloway, for example, and I've been the judge will sign me warrants for arrest me.
Yeah. And
5 years.
You've defended him.
Yes, 5 years. Because I told my friends my commitment is to truth, not to human being. I defend me enemies as much as my friends. So whether you offend me 2 years, 5 years ago, it don't matter to me. If they do you wrong, I speak up for you with the same fervor, with the same vigor, and with the same conviction that I would hold for friends. So I need to remember you bad self. Because for me, anything I see wrong, me belly the boil. one for come out and say, no, this is unacceptable. It's not proper.
Yeah.
It's not right. They did it to Lara Taylor Pierce. We sounded the alarm to judges. We say if we are not correct, it's wrong. When then done with the Auditor General, because the Auditor General then put under the same brackets like judges. So the same protection with judges and get under the Constitution, then give the Auditor General. So we sounded the alarm. Say if we allow, let the executive get away with this, we then done with the Auditor General and they turn to judges. This is what is happening now. Not too long ago.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Unfortunately, you have friends, went to school, university with, same club, fraternity,
everything.
Where them party then they are you losing them? Do they still believe that this is the Augustine we knew? Na college where they stand up for what they believe in. This is not the Augustine who sabi where the Renaissance we believe in what he believe in. He be leader of Renaissance and he challenge issues. And this is still the same Augustine, or you've lost those friends?
No, so we friendship still at the very minimum, right? Obviously because of ideological differences, we're not very close anymore. But we're friends. We see them, we say I, etc., etc. Right? But the fact of the matter is that if you go back 20 years, people always have been in a college, 30 days, they would always tell you, say, I have stayed the same. Somebody tell me, say, well, Maria, something because you're not going to government.
Yeah.
Now I say, no, at some point I ventured to serve na Salcab. 3 months at last. Because I went there with set principles, say I would not change.
Now you left? Why? Waiting up.
No, so
you were appointed to serve in Salcab?
Yes. So before I got that appointment, I talked to a number of me mentors in the legal field and say, me and Apostle don't want for going to mainstream governance. Right, so them talk to me, say public service good, you get experience, etc. So take something that is outside the main corridors of government as a non-executive board member. So I took that and obviously stood up against a number of things. For example, increase of salaries. For example, at some point they can say, oh, bring you passports, so that they can go somewhere, etc., etc. I say, no, I'm not the fault for all them things there. We should build corporate governance within this institution. Long story short, then kick me out. To this day, sitting here, me termination letter, and I'll see them. They don't ever give me.
Then just you say by what?
Yes. In fact, then send the letter. I understand, say then send the letter to the company secretary. Company secretary tell me, say, they don't mandate and not forgive me the letter. The chairperson by then, Soyi Fofana, also confirmed, say, he received your own copy. Say, Marami, no know why make they not give you copy. Say, but I received my own copy. And unfortunately, I can't give you a copy of my copy. So 3 months, to this day, as I'm sitting here, and I don't see his sack letter, to this day. But clear instruction, obviously, they give you some remuneration every month when I've been part of the problem, because board members by then, they wanted to inflate. The argument now that under APC they pay them up to $5,000.
I remember the president announced board members should not have vehicles, they should not have offices,
etc. And I stood up on that. I say non-executive board members now one tell we can meeting per month. So we should not be entitled to rent, housing, medical, etc., etc. I say them in a regular staff. So the other board members and begin look me around and say, is it crazy? Who's planet in commons, etc., etc. So long story short, 3 months. But then the minister of information one day pull me aside and say, I have respect for you. I say, how, sir? Because imagine saying the person will kick me out, right? Now I say, no, me quite know me by then. He say he had a number of things about me. He say, but now we don't study and don't observe me, don't follow me. He realize say they make many misrepresentations about me person. He say, continue doing what you do. Tell me one thing. I think Rado, yes, Rado met on a panel. I don't know if you mean moderator and AOIV by then, and he said, say, we did a panel as an activist. He said they eager for come. Say because I know your objective, and he did do this from the heart.
That experience.
So we share all the stories for say. times may have changed,
Yeah.
but the same things they continue.
Yeah.
The same problems they don't face. 10 years ago, the sacking of the vice president, the same thing now they face.
Yeah.
Auditor General, same people are within a bracket where constitution secure their office, not them, executive overreach the effect.
So the how you get that job? Were you recommended by your friends or your friends of your friends?
Absolutely. You know how things are.
Yeah.
New regime, Renaissance, that mean the firebrand.
Yeah.
So everybody mean they think say, oh, we for reward Renaissance. So maybe don't take a position, say me I like me practice as a lawyer. So me not interested in mainstream. Right? I mean, obviously, at some point, people and they say you can't criticize forever.
Yeah.
If you are given opportunity in a public service for can serve, take it. So I say,
And that was
okay.
the idea of Renaissance as well.
Absolutely.
So we can still have people in government be members of Renaissance.
Yes, and
still
then change from within,
exactly,
and then the other one the way they out to continue for the work.
Yeah.
So that's how I took up the job. So the president appoint me, not so like any other person.
But see you sack later.
I don't see me sack to this day. To this day, sir.
But we sorry about
And
that.
3 months I last on that. 3 months on that board.
You don't know what's in and sack you for out and sack you what you do.
No.
All them things here where they happen so generally. Like you say, we served in the Renaissance, there was this zeal, and when are young people that we believe say things can change, you get friends, people that we share a lot of things in common with who have been in the college growing up and all of that. What's you they see now is has there been any changes with governance? Because the Renaissance mantra was we've been got people with the APC within our government, we have been part of Renaissance. People don't understand that, but only for make them know.
Yeah.
Them being they part of Renaissance. So the idea was for bring APC, SLPP, and anybody come together. And think say, yeah, we get a responsibility. We can change from within, but outside we can hold you accountable as well.
Absolutely.
And you think say things don't change, things are changing. You get people and we who have been share the same vision, they're part of governance now, hold very senior position within government.
To be honest with you, I think because I've been getting such heightened hopes for this crop of leaders after regime change in 2018, I would say unapologetically that in my estimation, things have not changed. And that is because maybe get such high hopes that then group of people here we understand the value system that will be done create from their movement here. Going back from college, all the conversations we had about changing Sierra Leone as young people. After college, all the conversations we had, etc. They tell people and say the Renaissance philosophy was finalized in my house. I was given the responsibility of writing down the manifesto, which I did. So I understand them principles. We understand, say, the commitment was to change Sierra Leone, every facet of Sierra Leone. Right? And I remember one part of the conversation we get now, whether for bring religion and also get a renaissance of religion. We fought around that one day, and when we get a consensus for say, as part of we all cultural and value system, religion as such a critical component. So we may agree, say there's no way we can go out and left religion. Because we think, say, the role where we pastors and we imam then they play for shape the man holistically can also mean, say, we can able get good citizens if pastors and imams and they're also the part of the Renaissance drive. So at the end of the day, we may agree, say, the Renaissance of religion also for be a component, right? So looking back, going to seven years now on in governance with this crop of leaders, I am yet to see the foundational values and then core values that will be agreed in Renaissance being practiced and being implemented in governance, right?
For me, core values there?
Values about commitment to not only service delivery, but to honesty and truth, right? And the core value of the Renaissance therefore puts nation above self at all times, right? Believe you me, I look at this regime now. The only difference between this regime and the regime we been there before, not difference of people, not just change of people. The same dynamics, the same system, the same inadequacies that we don't grapple with under the last regime, the same inadequacies. Will lights not change?
No, but there's improvements with electricity.
Oh no, I visit a friend of mine. We gets really good space, and the voltage horrible. You don't knock off a number of equipment, you know.
But should we also agree that there is some progress? There is nationally, there is the appetite for development, and there is some progress with things that they happen in reforms, new laws, you know, and projects and programs, and the rolling out of them as well.
Absolutely. I'm not saying there's not been any movement. There's been a movement. Naturally, if you can bring any set of people, it would move the nation a bit. But whether I call that one day significant development, we go make watch back and say we forget all the regimes and before because we have been blessed by such a crop of leaders, I would say no. We don't pass laws them, quite frankly. We don't pass fantastic laws them. But action and then laws then there's a whole gulf between them, right? We don't pass brilliant laws them for women, but women is still a grapple with boku problems them, right? The other day we get a colleague of mine, we then sack now one pan the bank name, etc. We still lip on the issue day. So you get a whole system of laws, but then the rights and within laws then they don't promise, those rights are not being realized.
What's in the fundamental thing where you've been thinking, or where you they look at for a government, you know, for make you believe, say, yes, there is progress, or there is some semblance of change?
So I think that's a fundamental question. So there's always two schools of thought within government in terms of whether government for a better with life, give electricity, good road, don't they not care about civil rights, right? The other school of thought, they say civil rights not important. Whether we get a transparent government, whether a government accountable, whether we know a number of travels away, perhaps government officials they not undertake, and we able quantify the benefits. Because if you don't travel 25, 26 times in a year, if we're able to do the cost benefit analysis, if we're able to come back and say, then 25 travels and they cost alone $500,000. For example, but from then travels and they would able bring come $25 million, would allocate $10 million to Guma. So Guma now don't lay pipes them. Hill station we no get water, for example, don't begin get water. And
but some travel and they were in a statutory actually. We get for do it because we part of UN we need for go. Because we're part of ECOWAS we need for go. AU we need for go. So you understand?
So I think the people away they against travel, not they against statutory travels in No. I think, you know, before when the regime, this particular regime came, you know, before now, they be get for the list the number of people that they travel, you know, the purpose of the travel, etc. Then they don't left farm a long time ago, right? So it's not just the statutory travels that people are against, but the other travels that citizens do not know why. The whole or significant amount of the government paraphernalia for left country and back on then travels and they where for example you get ambassadors there already, you get trade envoys, we get boku trade envoys the way they don't appoint, so a number of people and can take care of a number of things, plus the foreign minister for example. You get attaches them all over the globe. So we think say if the travels are numerous, we forget a corresponding increase in development. If we're able to say, let's travel more, because every time we go, when we come back, we city then they turn almost cities of gold, you know, proverbially, right? But we have not seen that. We see, say, more and more the state resources are being diverted for funding travel Sunday when key institutions, for example, are being deprived of needed resources. For example, the local council and they tell you say it's been now September, I think is the 9th month. They not don't get the subvention for the entire year.
Yeah.
So a number of institutions say we walk into something and the lights not they wait happen and say money not they for put top up because we not receive a subvention. So across the board. So
your good friend, your good friend, the Minister of Civic Education and Information, say he was here. And he said the president travels are justified, and the MCC now one revenue we don't come, we will be proud of. Another development programs them we a justification of the president in travel. Say the president not just the travel for pleasure. The president said don't talk na state opening. Say he's not traveling for pleasure. He's traveling because he needs to travel, statutory travels, and also for connects alone with the world and seek development support for the country.
Yeah, I think I disagree. I disagree with all respect to the minister, because I think the best justification for them travels for big development, right? Some things have to be so clear on the ground that you don't need to explain. Now we the people for don't say yes, we president for go, because every time he goes, when he comes back, we see development across the board, but we have not seen that.
Yeah, the MCC is one.
No, but the MCC get office, the MCC get coordinators, the MCC gets a whole structure and framework. So president don't need to for left in office for let the MCC work, right? Because it's a whole structure. They get an office where they do preliminary work, etc., etc. So I don't think say all land travels here the MCC related, right? And before SLPP can power, the MCC framework be non start. So it's just a matter of continuation, really. I don't think, and I think say Boku other citizens and also share the same sentiments. Say them travels here don't get any knock-on effect economically. If you look back, you don't say we don't become even more impoverished, right? We many a time you hear all but them fancy something. Oh, they don't promise salon this amount, they don't promise salon this amount. But those are promises, really. So we don't see quite, if we look at agriculture, if we look at other sectors, we don't see quite the impact that we can say safely, with all conviction, say this sector under SLPP government, they don't address them.
Okay. Let me talk about the judiciary. The Lawyer Society put a statement yesterday about they call for the reversal of the suspension of the Honorable Justice Alan Alloway and demand investigation into his complaint contained in his letter on 11th August 2025. But first, before we go into that matter, as a member of the judiciary as well, as a lawyer, what are your assessment generally of the judiciary of Sierra Leone?
Okay, I think the truth of the matter is that the judicial arm of government, now the arm of government where we need significant amount of work. I say that because now the branch of government that they were responsibility now for check the two other branches of government. Unfortunately, for the last decade and or so, we not don't quite get that judiciary. We don't assert that position there with the constitution game. We not get that judiciary the way you can wake up in the morning if you get case in a court, you satisfied say they go na court. Absolutely not in mind. Say I go get justice. Right? And the funny thing about justice, you're not for able to predict justice, right? Because every case they turn on in facts, right? But I tell you, anybody will get case in a court, we grab na morning, they grab na morning worried or anxious. Once you get that feeling there, you know say that institution there get significant amount of work needed to be done. One, for confidence, but also in terms of predictability. Sometimes litigants and go to court, they don't even know when courts they start. Some people in Kindin and they hang around for hours. You do your case, you don't even know when in the right judgments. right? I get a current matter in a Supreme Court where my client from 2017 where they reserve a matter for judgment. It's now 8 years against one big company. Unfortunately, that company they don't close down. 8 years within a Supreme Court panel matter day, right? I do a case in 2015. I done now for them. All par them. They work na one pan government institution. They then terminates them services and can't we boku par them. Over 50 something. I done the matter in 2015, May 2015. I remember that month here, clearly. From that day to now, 10 years on, we wait for judgment. 10 years. Panem 50 something, par them we been calm. As a young lawyer by then, Panem 50 something, par them. I think almost half of them don't die. Half of them still waiting. One pani man the way them they carry them panel, old self now na me eye. The man them grey and what have you. They're still waiting for justice. So once you have all the number of things here, you can't sit down here and then beat your chest and say we get a judiciary that is above scrutiny or above board.
What the fundamental problem with it? Like you say, most of these things are things we keep discussing.
Absolutely.
Irrespective of which party or who than a president.
Absolutely.
Is it about capacity? Is it about resources? Or is it about the will, the leadership will say for change things?
No, I think it's about waiting, computer scientists and they say, once you have garbage in, garbage out. Right? So in other places, for example, and with all due respect to judicial officers, all due respect, one forgets his space or speak truth to power. Don't be clear. In other places, for let them appoint a judge, they go through such a scrutiny. By the time they're done with you, everybody knows say they are appointing the best of the best. Right? In Kenya, for example, then they interview all on state broadcaster. People will come and then say, oh, this judge, this man who be not do X, Y, or Z, not qualified for turn judge. Or this man who be not sabi record, he works on side, he do X, Y, or Z, he not qualified. Plus, then look at you, all CV, scrutinize them in a manner. Unfortunately, not just under this regime, with all due respect, but also past regimes, we don't see say more and more. Once a regime change, more likely where government take over power, they appoint in pro the lawyers and we align with that regime there. Now they eventually more likely for turn judge. When then they happen, it means say the sieving process not go be rigorous. The application process not go be really tough. They would not ensure that they get the best of the best. They would ensure that they get people away sympathetic to their cause. So that way, now the best way for you destroy society. Now for where you once you get power, you begin appoint, you paddy them for puts in a sensitive position. Because as a judge...
No, but Augustine, you can appoint your friends, but if they get values, and like how the president appoints you, you add values and you believe what you stand for, you challenge issues, and you were sacked.
Absolutely.
Yes, but the president get the power for appoint. But repeatedly he has been saying, me believe say the judiciary for be independent. I play a video this morning where they talk about judges and they involved in land sales. It's a not interfere in the work of the judiciary, but a need for talk to some of the judges who they involved in that. Is it about values? Is it about we as a people rather than the politicization of the judiciary?
No, I think it's about really the screening process. So, I have been within the judiciary for over 10 years plus. The fact of the matter is sometimes you wake up in the morning and then suddenly you realize say somebody don't turn judge. Right? So the fact of the matter is we not get such a rigorous screening process whereby, like you say, and I agree, sometimes you can appoint your friends, but your friends, they are one of the best, right? Fair enough, right? Nobody no one for deprive your own party they were competent of serving. But the fact of the matter is we see say the whole process of appointment of judges them is so heavily politicized in such a manner that that needed scrutiny in all day. So the fact of the matter is, once you get people away, they are more aligned and more sympathetic. Once you appoint those, in a way, it's really, really difficult for you get the significant outputs there, because don't really subject them to rigorous screening process, right? So that is one. But also, I think that we have to be very, very frank, we have a lot of unseen executive control of the judiciary.
You mean
unseen.
From the executive arm of government?
Executive arm of government, unseen. I say this because we know, it's what we work on a daily basis. We know a number of times we will get them, judges and go receive them calls here from, powers that be, expressing opinion. And it's a small country. Once a judge don't feel like, say, they're under some kind of, even if it's a subtle threat, then they feel threatened.
They want to please the people,
the powers that be, right?
Yeah.
So you get a whole group where, because they are more sympathetic to a regime, they go always act pro that regime. You get another group where they go afraid. Right? You get another group where sometimes they will feel say they're anti to that regime. We go mean say that group themselves get for suffer. Whether they are anti to the leadership within the judiciary, or they are anti to a system, or they are perceived to be anti, they suffer. So at the end of the day, because of all them dynamics there, the litigants now get for suffer.
The people.
Because the people.
Yeah.
So because at the end of the day, predictability no day, certainty no day, and justice now left at the whims and caprices of all them dynamics here.
Okay.
So that's the problem that we face fundamentally. And until we get the judiciary straight, unfortunately, no sector in our government now this country not the work.
Why?
Until we get the judiciary. Because the judiciary now go make businessman where the kind of country no say and be assured say if anything go wrong, then get such a judicial system that are not go afraid safe for invest me money. We don't get cases upon cases in which business people, for example, don't get cases, and then at the end of the day they don't turn around and say, I can share a story. I will get a case where they reserve in 2018 big businessman, they don't do business over 60 years. The other day called me say, Augusti, why you not advise me saying now so on a court day from 2018 we'll wait for judgment. So it's now 7 years plus. So you say, why you not tell me say now so? Right? Now say, well, we have a system that you can't predict. Right? If for example, government get interest in a matter, we judiciary able to finish that matter in 2 days.
Yeah, we've
in 2
seen
days.
those cases.
In 2 days, they can be very swift. In 2 days. For example, the PR matter. You see how they conclude them within a short period of time.
It's a public interest matter. It has to do with the election.
Yes. But you also get similar cases. For example, lying case go over 3 years. Over 3 years. So past way people begin to say, "Oh, I done this case now." So you get cases that way also get similar importance, but once not align with government in interest, it's not giving the urgency.
There are reforms. Before we come, the video will play the AG, Ayadimir.
There are promises of reforms, and I agree with the AG.
Yes,
Promises
exactly. We get the CPA way came into effect on the 16th. It talk about how you go, capacitate the institutions, the judiciary, provide the capacity, provide the resources, and as well make access to justice, more than our communities, the most people, and the points you make about trust in the judiciary as well.
Absolutely.
Do you agree that we're progressing? There are reforms, even with the challenges that we do highlight?
There are reforms, and I think say the Honorable AG don't do quite a lot, but like I tell you, some of these reforms they have been captured in policies and in document. The new CPA is out. Although fundamentally we disagree with the removal of the jury system, that is something that I think that again we can always sound this alarm. Say people like Paulo not for able to get away with treason if we not make a jury system. So we have sounded the alarm. You go pull jury system. We know politicians, they always get this tendency.
Can be abused.
Right? If they send one other politician, we're not in a government later on, in later years, and then you go turn around and say, because we put jury system, we put the man in faith now in the hands of a judge. And you know, it's easy for like corrupt one man. It's difficult for like corrupt a group of people because everybody, somebody will grab say, this morning I read me Quran, I'm afraid Allah, I'm afraid God, and they do this bad. But if that one person, you can easily able for muscle in willpower. So now that make jury system good. Because just in case one day you grab like one for do bad to your political enemy, you go entries in Panam. You go before him peers and you can say, but I will not think say this evidence sufficient for how we hold this man. Right? So much as we celebrate the reforms with the new CPA promise, access to justice, bringing justice, and I agree with the AG in terms of other modes of resolving disputes. Mediation, you involve community people and for intervene and what have you, right? But also, what we have seen is a number of other provisions that have been introduced were also a bit troublesome. The other day, you know, while I was away, just a follow, and I don't get time for critically scrutinize. But for example, they don't introduce a provision where if police hold you for them economic crimes or capital offenses, where they can hold you for up to 10 days, if they get need now, per the new CPA, they can go apply for letting give the additional 15 days. I say, wait a minute. The Constitution say in 10 days. Meaning all thing way you for do if I don't do it inside 10 days, you don't need additional 15 days. Now when I don't can introduce 15 days, even though when I say the man for go apply for
you need approval.
But you know, in this country, police go apply, they would naturally give them. So not so it's just ticking that box. So not so like say then for go question them and cross-examine them what you need, right? So what you have created is a further 25 days now. Right?
For the person in detention.
Where the Constitution not contemplate 25 days. It's a ultimate way you for do. In America recently, this assassin, they interview him, they don't ultimate appear. Within 10 days, it don't appear.
They have the infrastructure, the
no.
resources
So,
and all.
yes, I understand that. I am just saying that most of the time them and I mean, obviously, you would have instances in which you will need additional days. Yes, I agree.
Some cases, the kind policy were involved, high profile maybe, or the kind money or investigation, because you don't have all the resources.
I agree, but again,
infrastructure.
that's what we always say. So if you think you need for do more investigation, or put the person at detention, so you can investigate, you put them on bail, stringent bail. Where you secure the person, then you go about and investigate. But once you keep an at detention, the law they say now the term they count against you. So not put an at detention, you know, do you work it? So not put an at detention now. So in other countries they don't get background evidence. Where they hold you now for confront you with the evidence now. So in a way that within that 10 days they don't close now the evidence once they don't interview you with your statement and charge you, right? But like I say, I mean, I need time for really sit down and scrutinize some of them things. And it's a brilliant law. I think say it was about time. We may need for change in 1965. It's been around for you know, more than half a century now. We need for change, right? So it's welcoming, but also we need for sound the alarm. Say the jury system is out, and like what we've been sound the alarm for Lara, for them judge them. We don't want for remind politicians and 2-3 years down the line and say we've been telling her. Now then they can't try you alone. You know, judge alone. Where if now other tell you know say jury, when ordinary people them. When me party they work now Freetown City Council they appoint them for turn juror. You see don't they listen to the evidence. Say the other day, you know, they listen to the evidence, they go deliberate, they only find the person guilty. Say because the evidence then self. And that's the thing about justice. So I let you know to lawyer and judge. Where a case, you didn't know the truth, who side the truth they. So because it's a human thing. It's not a way we go study law.
But the argument also was that it's open to abuse. delays as well, and all of that. It's not a perfect system. It's open to abuse as well. Just like a one person where they take decision.
No, the system will get that system they fine. The problem will get now that we get a whole lot of inadequacies with the problem. So waiting normally we can do in this country. Once we able to solve problems, we discard them. We do away with them. Right? Rather than building the Jewish system for ensure say, because most of them people and the way they come, them, now people the way they left their job, then something them for come.
Yeah,
and
work for
tell you
government.
say
They don't get transport.
they don't get transport.
So
They'll tell
if you
where
get
they
case
come,
now, you dey get there.
yes, if they, then tell you say where they cancel, tell them for wait 5 hours before they call them matter. So if somebody knows say what can at 9:15 to 9:45,
Yeah.
now that 30 minutes there they spend, he can able allocating time, he can spend in 30 minutes he go. But many a time they will come and wait them 5 hours before they call them case, which is not nice.
Yeah.
So most of the time when they call somebody, you say no, because waste time they too much. Then they waste time. So if you build that system, you take care of all the problems. It's a good system. But because people are not get appetite for reform and address problems, and they do away with them.
Let me
Fine
look,
system.
Let me look at the letter from Honorable Justice Alan Alloway. I mean, they say yesterday, if we get that kind of concern from a Supreme Court judge about the judiciary, it's worrying and it needs to be investigated. And I see the Lawyer Society say the same thing. Within allegations and the judiciary use how you they work, waiting are your reaction to this? Some of the things has to do with some serious allegation and cases about taking files away from him and because of imposition and all of that. Not only human rights, but also files away from him.
Yeah, I think fundamentally we don't capture. So here's the thing, and we've made this very clear. Not to like say the Lawyer Society don't take Justice Alloway inside or believe in story over waiting at CJ in own response. We position at that. Justice Alloway complain, and we can disagree with in the communication of the complaints. We can disagree. We can say, okay, well, something no me need for kind of social media. If we don't use other channels and within, we can disagree. But that don't mean say for dismiss legitimate grievances, right? So naturally, when we see that letter there, like I was away, I saw it with the executive. We say, what we will do, Lord, right to CJ, let we ask him for response to the allegations, right? So that he himself can able to tell your own side of the story. Because it's not good for like get one game person they tell your own side of the story. And I think it will be biased of we for comments we know hear from CJ. So we wrote him a letter on the 22nd of August. We understand say be there away by then, but in confidential secretary we received the letter. Now they receive all other processes for the CJ. We know hear from him. On the 5th day of September, we understand say CJ be not return. We send another letter say now we don't return it in our office. We send them and say kindly sir, we don't see this letter being paraded on social media. A number of allegations where this man don't state in letter say they know they allocate files them and they take files them from them. They don't stop in allowances. Then they don't affect in health. In mama self not well, but you don't get money for take care of them, etc., etc. Then they marginalize them, you they bully them, etc., etc. So one for your own side of the story. On the 50th of September, the second letter go, no response. So unfortunately, we see this suspension now. So we said, wait a minute, right? We think, say, fundamentally, three things and they were wrong. One, now, before we address the three positions I will take, I think, say, and then bring me back to your question, if institutions and get really grievance mechanisms and within, senior judge of the Supreme Court no go kind of social media. For let somebody kind of social media, it means say it don't exhaust all thing within or nothing other within for be exhausted. For let somebody kind of social media na like we can on a barrier and say me people like we can all in a community say una help me I don't tire now. Then a social media for let a man we don't work in the judiciary for many years, come to that position. Now, two things. Either you don't exhaust all internal mechanisms, they don't work for them, nobody know a year, or internal mechanisms and they but they no work. So now then two things in it. Now that make us say sometimes and if somebody don't take an unconventional mode for communicating grievance, please excuse that unconventional mode. You hear and force. You can address that unconventional mode later on. So what we see now that the Judicial Legal Service Commission, when they make recommendation to President for appoint judges, them, we also also recommend the discipline of judges and suspension of judges, them, then sit down on this matter, and then recommend say let them suspend the very man we come forward and complain na social media. So we say, wait a minute, we don't think say this correct. This man in complaint in the table now una for investigate first. If at the end of the day una investigate the man in complaint, una come back and say no, this man in complaint, no, he don't get any evidence for all the allegation. So we think say he don't smear the name of the Chief Justice, he don't scandalize the judiciary. For that reason, because we don't investigate in complaint, and we don't fair not say in complaint no all water, we now they recommend to President let them discipline them. They have not done that. They have skipped the process. So they don't left the man in complaint at table. They don't address now the man in communication of the complaint, which is not fair.
So now understand the manner in which, because I've been talking to somebody close to Justice Alloway, and he was saying the letter with them cannot clearly state what is being investigated for, and the one with the public as well not clearly states within is being investigated.
So I think it's only reasonable to say before August 11, before that Monday, right? There was nothing against him. Not to like say them the investigator.
Yeah.
So the only thing we don't trigger all of this now August 11 letter. Even because of the August 11 letter, make the Judicial Legal Service Commission meet. So when they met, we own expectation for meet now, so we don't get this complaint with this man don't right against Chief Justice. Do you respond to we? So now we know whether this allegation they all water or not. No, when they saw the letter, they were offended by the fact that the man go on social media and perhaps not cancel them for address the complaint. So because of that, they think say, oh, we get for discipline this man because of the communication of the complaint, which is only the reasonable inference that can be drawn from the circumstances. Like we say, we not get all the facts, but now that's not the reasonable inference that can be drawn, right? Because in the letter from the presidency, it say you are being suspended for misconduct. And the only thing waiting at the fall regarding misconduct now are the letter, right?
Yeah.
And we have been deprived of their reasons and because Chief Justice not may respond to with 2 letters. Right? Now that make would emphasize say public officials them, they owe a duty to citizens them. Under the right to access information, where citizen rights, even if you know right invoking provisions under the right to access information, it behoves public officials when citizens, especially pressure groups, public interest groups, for like responding right.
Yeah, or maybe call on to a meeting and explain.
Absolutely. In the second letter, we even request say we are available to meet so we can have this discussion. So that are the fundamental issue we will take in terms of the position. Say one, the Judicial Legal Service Commission don't put the cat before the horse. Therefore, don't investigate the man in complaint rather than making a recommendation to President for let President suspend. And President under the Constitution, once he get a recommendation and you go act on the recommendation. So that's the first position we'll take. The second position, now that we think say in suspension no agree with the constitutional provision. The Constitution say where President receive the recommendation, President they set up a tribunal before he suspend. You also happen in Lara Taylor Pierce. Then suspend them before then they set up the tribunal. In fact, the tribunal then set them up long after they suspend them. In fact, the first group of people when them put together, I took an objection.
Yeah, and then
so they
change.
began for change them. Right? So similarly, now this also they don't do to the judge. It brings us back to this the alarm we sounded. Say if we not allow let them treat Lara Taylor Pierce this way, then go come for now. Right? So that's the second position. Say the suspension not constitutionally not conform
adhere
to
the constitution.
Yes. The third point is that if you treat a senior judge of the Supreme Court this way, we get legitimate grievance. If they make other judge them, we get concerns and go afraid. I say, what they do now? They suppress grievances within the judiciary. That small judge, that small magistrate, we go get legitimate concerns, go afraid, say, if Supreme Court judge will talk, then treat them this way, let's sit down with me. Grievance.
And Alan, the Honorable Justice Alan Alloy mentioned that, say, he's one of the people we don't stand up and talk, challenge the Chief Justice on issues there.
Absolutely. So because he's a very senior, even by practice, he's senior to the Chief Justice.
Okay.
By practice.
So this issue about speaking up and in the judiciary, you the work in the judiciary about them concerns there. How you think, say, you talk about grievance mechanisms.
Absolutely.
Even for the public.
Absolutely.
Because for me, if a Supreme Court judge can be taken this way, I don't see, before we go on here, I was saying, I don't see people and they pay attention to the allegations that we make about the judiciary.
Absolutely.
For me, they're very, very important as well. And I said on Facebook and X, say, the president as well for set up a committee or the JLC for investigate them concerns there.
Absolutely.
And make the outcome public, like
Absolutely.
you say. If he was wrong, then say no, this man wrong.
Absolutely.
If he's right,
Absolutely.
so they build trust and confidence
Absolutely.
in the judiciary, even for we as ordinary
Absolutely.
people. But for now, I have a picture of the Chief Justice and the judiciary, said by a Supreme Court judge.
Yes.
Where they work there, me know they work
Absolutely.
there. Now, like if staff come here and go say things publicly about how we they operate,
You go more likely trust that person.
Exactly.
Insider information.
Exactly. So in circumstances like this, una the people where they work at the judiciary, how do you build trust of the judiciary? Where that person go say, but me not believe even under demand or they work they self they complain about the system.
Lamgan, I think this is a missed opportunity for the judiciary. Judiciary for the use this case for show the people what in transparency look like. Therefore, don't set up an inquiry, investigate, because not only the fact that they take file from fact that they stop his salary, say that he go to a point that he asks for let the Chief Justice resign.
Yes, he did. He did.
So
that.
these are very strong allegation. So this man they asked for the resignation of the Chief Justice. Right? So what you could have done now for ensure say una set up an inquiry for either clear the Chief Justice or for give justification to the man in allegation for say yes, we don't look into this matter. The Justice Allo being correct, all waiting a complaint of now in the Chief Justice they do or we don't look into this matter. Waiting Justice Allo will be non complain of, not to true. We don't examine all the circumstances, not true. Waiting and they go do, it go send comfort to ordinary citizens. Say judiciary they cover anything. Then they ensure say they look into matters and then they are transparent about that. For now, what they appear as if this man come forward with complaint, and then in order for shield the Chief Justice and go after the man. Now then they don't appear as.
Now so
right?
because
and with all due respect, and this is what we have said, in Lawyer Society, we have said we don't take Justice Alloway inside. Not that we are saying Justice Alloway allegation correct against CJ. No, we have not said that. We have said investigate in allegation. So what we have called for, let President reverse the suspension, send the matter back to the Commission, let the Commission investigate. If at the end of the day, they come to a conclusion, say, Justice Alloway unjustifiably just smear the character of the Chief Justice, they now have legitimacy for recommending suspension.
You know Justice Alloway more than I do. You work in the judiciary. This is the second time he's been suspended. He was suspended in 2010 by former President Ernest Bai Kuma, and this is is the second time again.
Yeah.
Who is Justice Alloway, if you could? Is he a controversial person or not somebody where you go say they within a system, but not somebody where they tin up for within he believe in?
Lama, I think for me, I don't want to comment on this person. I mean, for obvious reason, like I told you, me and a person where they do this work, it's more about issues and not about the person. You know, and I mean, just following a judge where I don't appear many times before, I don't practice before, I'm a sector.
They don't sign you.
Me warrant.
You warrant.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you know, where they put me in a dock that 10 day, now they all me sit down at the Supreme Court where they all me in contempt. And by the way, you know, I don't get 1 or 2 interviews for critical things in life where the only thing we've come up and say they don't convict you.
Yes. So you're a convict.
A convict,
Yeah.
right? Critical interviews when the only thing and we don't come up.
Yeah.
Right? But then I took my time to explain that it's part of my work. Mandela was a convict. It's part of our work. You know, who do this work, conviction, list of me worry. So you explain that and people understand you're an activist. So it comes with the terrain.
You accept that you're a convict?
It comes with the terrain.
No, you accept, say you're not a convict?
Because it's on record. Even if I reject it, it's on record.
But do you accept that you're a convict?
No, I am not. I mean, I am not. I'm a, you know, maybe a convict from a conviction. Right? So just for telling you, almost say for me, it's more about issues and not about the person. Because sitting here, like I know, even when I was running for the bar association, people can come with objections, say, "I'm not for run becoming
exactly." That's the point. Like
so,
you say, it's on the record that
correct.
you've been convicted.
So I should not sit here and then talk about issues where touch and concern somebody. We don't put that label on my life, right? But I believe in justice. I believe, say, even the vilest of we, even the meanest of we, deserve justice.
Do you think that's a scar you will live with? Maybe sometimes you go and be president. You think that's something that will affect you?
Conviction for presidency, say now for dishonesty, fraud, etc.
Okay, it not affect you in that. But you think that's a scar that is on you?
So that's the problem, because if now other courts have don't go to a superior court to get overturned, but with the Supreme Court, you can't go anywhere.
And you live with that.
It's part of my work. It's part of it's some of the scars I would show to my kids, to other generation, to say yes. And you know, critical interviews, that's the only thing that came up. Say, oh, you have been critical interviews. I'm telling you, my brother, critical interviews. That's the only thing will come up.
It don't affect you?
No, I think in all those circumstances, they came back and understood that, oh, it's part of your work. It's not dishonesty. It's not fraud. It's not, it's part of your work.
So what will go be the outcome if these issues you raised, Lawyer Society, if the decision is not reversed and the allegations are not investigated, you know, by the GLC and all of that, what will go be the position of the Lawyer Society?
We would look into it. I mean, we don't do this press release. We understand, say, all the, especially executive branch of government, executive branch of government could so we will look at a number of things that we'll do if at the end of the day this we call for reversal, they not comply with them, you know, the presidency not consider them, we would ensure that we take other steps for get the Judicial Legal Service Commission for act accordingly.
Okay.
Because we don't want a situation where say somebody come forward with a complaint, and because you know what, for listening to that complaint, say you now superimpose the complaint with an allegation against the person.
Okay.
So now we need to talk about Justice Alloway, all these in complaints about the allowance, about files being taken. So all now we look now Justice Alloway misconduct, which is not fair really.
You expect forget you know, any outcome of this and say this, because we get a society of where issues can happen, pressure groups they can raise concern, but the institutions and they go on with waiting they want for do them and just not consider, say these are concerns that we need to address. Like I say, we don't try to forget the judiciary now for talk about this even before now, and it's been very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think what we can do is do what we were doing now, spotlight these issues. I mean, we get all the tools and we'll get now we earn. If we think say we can able for utilize any other tools other than them public advocacy, would use them, but also would follow the matter. The Attorney General Day, Nina, the titular head of the bar, not the bar association, the bar, right? So we would also consider for engage on this issue for see whether the Judicial Legal Service Commission, and this is what I said. I said the Judicial Legal Service Commission, I for don't de-escalate this matter. But if people like they don't come pour petrol pan fire.
Okay.
Right? So this was an issue where them for don't bring and say, okay, Justice Allo, we will not agree with you, say you go social media. Right? But come with you, we talk this talk. Can see them hear you and they law call Chief Justice will talk this talk between una because una all two sits na the same court. Chief Justice na a boss, yes, but una all na Supreme Court judge them. Right, so we
very
can see
senior,
very senior. Just Salo is very senior. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm the most senior judge
yes,
at the Supreme Court.
yeah.
Not the Supreme Court now. So for me, then for the able handle this issue within.
If you read in letter, it mentioned in some cases witnesses how certain times and they don't try for bring people them come around for resolve some of the issues there. And it seems like
he also mentioned say 1 or 2 times he don't ever talk to CJ himself.
Yeah.
You know, so all this they tell you say grievance mechanisms are not they work internally. So the Judicial Legal Service Commission merely don't verify some of the things that this man don't say. Because otherwise then for don't look at this issue internally. So they will not for don't know safe. Then for don't come out with a statement and say Judicial Legal Service Commission don't resolve the matter between Justice Holloway and the Chief Justice. We thank the public for the interest in this matter. Full stop.
Una go court if the concerns you raised are not for secret redress. Una mention constitutionality.
Yes, we would look at all the options. But for now, I think say if we know hear from the executive branch of government, since the AG now straddle the executive and judicial arm of government would approach his office, and if there's a need for use any litigation tools, if at that time we come to that conclusion and decision, would use all the tools that we have available.
Okay. Well, we're still open to conversation on this. The judiciary, my friend and brother, colleague, Elkas, you know, I call yesterday, been saying they call me back, you know, call hopefully anytime when I want to react to this and respond to this issue, hopefully we'll talk about that. Quickly, Augustine, I want to look at things that already happen as well in the salon. The constitutional review, you're a lawyer. It's very important. I get the Attorney General here the other day talk about how possibly we get forget a referendum. There are things that we not to entrench clause we get for go to the Parliament as soon as they open. Waiting at your position, you know, on the constitutional review process.
So I think I don't sound this, and me and the Attorney General may not get some, you know, I've been on meet also privately on this issue. I think that the constitutional review process not only receive that kind of transparency that it deserves, right? We will not get white paper after the last constitutional process by Justice Cowan by the last regime. SLPP said we don't pull their own white paper on the issue, where basically that white paper then for reject boku recommendations where the constitutional review process be make. And I mean sound some sentiment as if the constitutional review committee where be non meet and interact with more than maybe then say over 10,000 people, don't make recommendation. Don't I go set up a small committee where sit down at State House, and that committee they come up with a white paper rejecting recommendation. I said that process, you know, I said that's not a legitimate process. I said the people they don't sit down together, they don't meet all interest groups, they don't make recommendation. Una go, I said what in the white paper for do now for put all the recommendation and done. Una no get that power there for reject recommendation. I said,
but is it not their responsibility as a government for we accept this? It happened with former President Komon-Tok.
Yes, so now make we reject the white paper as well. when the recommendation, all the recommendation they put in parliament are not the people's representatives. Now if you look at the recommendation and if their recommendation they touch and concern the entrenched clauses, you bring them to referendum. So even them not get power for reject them.
You mean the executive arm of government?
No, the parliaments now. The executive arm of government, their own duty now for put all the recommendations and it together in a white paper and submit it to parliament. Parliament, one day we not get for do with the entrenched clauses, then can debate them whether they accept them now on behalf of the people or reject them. Now make who get them day. But the one day we get for do with the entrenched clauses, they're not for touch them. Then they send them to the people for vote on them. So what they did was to set up a committee, small group of people. In fact, I doubt if woman me did it. If na something I mean 1 or 2 women, about 7 or 9 people them. Then sit down at state house, lock themselves in one room, and then sit down and like examine ourselves. We reject this, we accept this. I said, no, not also constitutional process there.
Well, we don't. It seems we don't pass that stage there now because the minister talk about already the issues that went on to entrench clause could go to parliament. And one of the first issues that we didn't get for deal with, they resume from the recess, and the one that went entrench clause, we could get a referendum before elections in 2020.
So that's the thing. So even this process, I don't talk to a number of other civil society activists that we say they don't know what's in the happen. So the constitutional review process now, as it is, shrouded in secrecy. And this is not a political system. Constitution, not a constitution of one political party. It's a constitution of all the interest groups. Most of the media houses go tell you, say they don't even know who than are the committee members, who side in the seat, waiting in the up to. Constitutional review process, when in the seat for being in public. Everybody for able
the
access.
minister said then they roll out the engagement and discussion on some of the things.
Other than they roll out
government. It's now office directly at the handle
So
this.
before now we know say something and beyond they happen. What do you mean not happen before now? So we're looking again. We'll look forward to the rollout of the engagement process. But like I say, constitutional review process is a people's process.
What do you they expect? What do you go expect for C to be done the right way?
Okay, so a number of things. So, for example, I know say campaign for good governance. Then we don't put out a white paper where then they call on a number of things in way the white paper of this government we don't left out. Where then once let then consider, right? And puts them back because those were recommendations made by the people. So when I put them at the white paper, when I send all things to parliament, let parliament when are the people's representatives debate them. If they want the way not get for do it entrench, they can accept or reject it. You know, lie in una own power. Because those recommendations were not made for let the executive can accept or reject. They were made for let the executive tabulate them, put them down in a white paper and send them to parliament.
Okay.
And then parliament can debate them. The one the way they want for accept, they accept, and the one the way they want for reject, they reject it. And the one the way want for amend entrenched clauses and put them for referendum. That is what we're expecting. Right?
You're looking forward to participate in the process when
Absolutely. In fact, at some point, I don't even privately mention to the AG, say, beyond my activism, constitutional law and my expertise. I want to offer. So I worked with CGG on that white paper.
Okay.
I worked with National Elections Watch on a white paper also in terms of the system. So we look at the PR system. So all of these are things that we should have a serious conversation on.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you on that. I think it should be
And if you
people-led.
open them up to public for etc., it helps all of us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you want a constitution where people would not think that this is pro-regime document.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You want to let all political parties feel say this is a constitution where it reflects all we views.
Yes, that's very important. What are you view about President Bion at the state opening of Parliament on 7th August talk about a proposal. Say we get a dialogue on, the PR system being extended to the executive and public service. What are your view on that? We don't get this conversation about power sharing, how overshape the power and all of that. What are your view on that?
I think it's not a bad concept, Lamman. I think, all due respect, I think the winner takes all culture don't really make politics some kind of a fearful game whereby one regime they come and feel like the other people away then carry place, they feel excluded entirely. And you know, it's a resource fight. So the one that we not get access to the resources of states now, they will find all kind of way for disrupt the one that we get access to.
You think say the power sharing to the executive and public service is a good idea?
I think so. I mean, with all due respect to other people that we disagree, I think so. And I think say President Biowe don't think about the power sharing or extending the PR to the executive arm of government for lead by example. Right? President Biowe gets I think 3 more years. You know, I would expect that before the end of the year, a change in cabinets fundamentally. He bring people, competent people from opposition parties, give them critical role. So, for example, if you give the opposition, say, we address energy crisis, I don't left on our hand. We not call me there again. We address them. So if we fail now, you guys will not go on the campaign trail and say that government fail on energy. I don't give now. Water resources are given on address them. Me, my own party go take agriculture, would address civics and communication. We go get in charge of defense because Namina the commander in chief. We go handle aspects, bring small political parties and give them critical institutions and for run. At the end of the day, if that regime they fail, no opposition party no go turn around and say we give a government to not fail. Because wait a minute, no, I call now for all work. Now you are gay energy. Now you are say run water resources, right? So it's a model that if the president don't conceive them, let lead by example. I would expect before the end of the year, changing cabinet fundamentally, bring people away now, not just opposition, no, but competent opposition figures. And I know say the opposition parties and get competent people away, we can easily feel some of them critical roles.
The conversation is about how possibly we legislate this. As a lawyer, a constitutional lawyer as well, how you think say we go legislate? You've been mentioned about the fight mostly is about access to the resources. How do we legislate this?
So I think say once we have a constitution, we contemplate that one day, and once we include them, because you get a whole provision in the executive. Now, as it is under the 1991 constitution, the president can get the prerogative for hire, whether it please, and then for fire. So that's why you say it has pleased the president for hire you, it has pleased the president also for replace you as well. So similarly, if you have a constitution we provide, say, the president get power for appoint, but in setting up his cabinet, if we ensure, say, executive appointees at least maybe 30%, maybe 40%, their appointees and they are being fielded by registered political parties and we attain a certain minimum, right? And also the PR system now not about 11.5 or 11.6.
They say the tip member for reduce them.
For reduce them because obviously now SLPP and APC no more possibly go get that margin there. If you reduce them, you can also get smaller political parties will get competent. But here's the thing: imagine somebody run as a political party, you get over 30%, and you know get any representation of government. I think say we need a system. If you get 30% of the population will vote for you, even if you no win, you for at least get 30% within government. We for sit on a cabinet, right? Because mind you, then 30% of people will vote for the presidential candidacy and in vision. Now people will believe in them, right? So if you get equal number in a cabinet, also it go mean say opposition party then go get less tendency for cause disruption, because now they sit in government, and you know when you sit in government, you also your people will have access to resources. Then go to pay them. We mean say their opposition strongholds and then self then pots then go.
Is it about resource sharing Or is it about having an effective governance system we go address the problems that we don't talk about?
I think it's both. So you can still get competent government, but also the realities and practicalities. Remember, say if you didn't have in opposition 10 years, nothing on the camp. Sometimes they go disgruntled for no reason because pots don't dry. But if they get a man in a government 30% and they run 30% of the government, then they go back to the stronghold, they're able to give rest, they're able to turn, they're able to boil water, etc. Then serve the tension they can down small. So it's a model that I think say once president don't conceive in this way, let lead by example.
And you think say,
and I think say in the constitutional review process now that we get, once we get a provision of the constitution, presidents will be compelled where they appoint now for give 30% to opposition appointees.
Augustine Sorisengbe Mara, a pro-democracy activist, human rights activist, and president of Lawyer Society, believes say the proposal of President Bill now something we go address with governance issue in sharing power and sharing the resources.
Absolutely. I stand by that view, and I think say made a call on the president for take the first step and then just say, because now he's given a blank check, so he can appoint anybody. You know, similarly, you know, under President Koma, where Mohamed Bangura and Medina other political they appoint him, right? So that 10 day been look shocking for like you Ministry of Information to opposition, you know, one party opposition leaders them, right? So imagine if you left feed salon to the opposition and say, this is my flagship. Now here I don't give una now, una deliver on them. This is what I believe in. And no so una don't criticize the sector, una don't raise concern, una deliver. I give una energy, now una own, una deliver. Make it still manage defense, I still get me presidential information, infrastructure, blah, 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 right? I think once that is done, it bring political parties and closer. Because it means say una young people are also sit in cabinets. Then political party friction there go reduce. You go see more and more politicians they go talk because now they all serve in government. And once you legislate them, once you get constitutional provision, I think in the long run,
then they not go affect say an effective opposition in the country, because everybody might you go get proliferation of political parties. Them I believe so if I get 30%, I'll get cabinet position or position within governance, and myself enjoy from the resources.
No, but I think say forget 30%. We just talk about 11 point something percent.
But the minister have been saying they get for reduce some anyway.
Yes, so me think say in terms of cabinet representation, I think that the percentage should be a little high, right? Because if you reduce some, you can get a proliferation of political parties where they easily can able to get 5%, and then say, wait a minute, we also forget share. But I think say you should not exclude 30 when somebody get 30%. It's such a critical number. Even if you not get 30% of a cabinet slot, but let get some representation. I don't think say it go basically affect opposition landscape, right? Because, for example, what you can do is to come to the people and say, we then are this government, then give we energy. We don't ensure say we don't address energy. The other sectors then demand, they have not addressed. So now vote we now, let we ensure say we address other critical infrastructure.
It's a model that needs to be discussed. It sounds
absolutely it's not without its faults. But it's something that we should. And for me, if President Duam, we go now look at the practicalities even before legislation and say, this model, if I know, and then we can able to also for analyze them and then fine-tune them before we legislate them.
If President call you for serve, will you serve?
Right now, I'm serving the Lawyer Society.
No. If he call you right now, say Augustine, you don't...
No. So by the Constitution of Lawyer Society, I can't serve.
But you can resign.
No, I don't want to resign.
No, so I'm asking now, if the president calls you, you will not serve.
No position in government.
You get presidential ambition?
I'm 40.
Yeah, no, I'm asking. I know
I'm 40 and I'm ambitious.
You get presidential ambition?
I'm 40 and I'm ambitious.
Yeah, I know. You can be ambitious, say, okay, I want to be Chief Justice, I want to be Attorney General. What the ambition? Is it to be President of Sierra Leone?
I know. I've not thought about presidential ambition for 2028.
But you get presidential ambition.
I think that from we conversation throughout from Renaissance days, we believe say certain people are change agents, and for me now, serving lawyer society, na me focus now, and I believe say as the years roll by, I would also have a conversation with myself, with my family, and with friends, and see whether are competent enough for able for us a bigger ambition beyond this.
What do you think about the PR, the first party? We still get this conversation about elections,
Yeah.
And I could say, one person we don't challenge, the ban would have been put on people not using vehicle elections. Say you win that case in a Supreme Court, and we'll forget you thought about what do you think say for be electoral elections model in 2028, just 5 years after we get in the conversation again about which kind of election we forget.
Yeah, I think seminar one party people will be opposed to the PR, and I think they're opposed because not because the PR in itself is a faulty electoral system, but I feel like Salon don't get that political maturity there for let we hand with destiny over to political parties them for do a list of people them. Normally those lists they even see them. You just see the political party in symbol on the ballot, you vote for them, and then they fill the candidates them for you. Right? So you're stuck. But with the constituency system, I get to, for example, look at the candidates and say, even though I think, say, I want to vote for party A for presidency, I don't quite believe in them parliamentarian. So I would rather vote for party B for them, parliamentarian, because I believe in that parliamentarian day specifically. With the PR system, that choice, day. Yeah? So the entire destiny day in the hands of the political party. And also with the PR system, that proximity where parliamentarians get with the people, not they. Because if you now like nobody is assigned to a particular constituency really. You just generally get, candidates for free tongue. Those aspects, whose community, whose area. Where before now, you been get parliamentarians away, for example, if bridge don't they begin they shake, you can reach out to a parliamentarian and call them out specifically on that one day. Right? So I think that we do not quite yet have that political maturity for a PR system. Because if we don't able to develop political parties and for don't develop into institutions where then don't become democratic institutions. But today we talk about democratic governance within the two major political parties. Yeah. We see what happened recently with SLPP, them convention and lower level elections and all the violence and disruptions. Also waiting the happen with APC before now court actions, etc. So then political parties are not quite matured. So if you left hand at the end, you see a lot of manipulations. And we get a number of stories about how people they name them, how they make their way into their list and they, right? So I think that constituency system being kind of effective, and while PR system perhaps getting your mate, I don't think that we're quite there yet.
Yeah, but you agree with the PR proposal from the president for cabinet and public service?
Correct on that. Now that make us say, and one of the arguments with the PR now that we know we need forget fresh elections, for example,
cut down cost, violence
and what have you. To be honest with you, maybe it's something that I would have a change of heart on as conversations continue. But I mean, I've been somebody, from the last term, the introduction of the PI system, we've been thinking we're not quite there yet. But I mean, obviously, the PI system in and of itself, not to a system way bad at all.
Okay.
It's a system that would, if properly implemented, can serve a lot of good, because the idea is political parties them can able bring forward the best of the best, don't scrutinize them, so they don't leave the responsibility now of the scrutiny to political parties. So once you give a list, we owe assurance that you don't give it the best of the best.
Yeah.
But again, we talk about political parties the way the internal problems and so on, but who pass the country safe.
So
you have
give
a
and
list,
take, give and take. You say we need for try the PR, but in a better way, where the people will be involved in order for choose for dinner the list.
perhaps
Or more transparency
more
in how
transparency in how we choose, and then also for reduce the
threshold.
The threshold.
Okay.
I think the threshold high for even smaller political party,
parties.
because not to SLPP and APC no more. You get smaller political party. You know, in other places, you get some political parties on side and you just establish them based on climate change.
Yeah.
Now they don't focus no more. So even if now one person and get a parliament,
In that they
so now
advocate
no
for.
more. Anytime where legislation come, if I get a climate change focus,
Yeah.
now no more. So every time you get a conversation on maybe youths
Yeah.
involvement or gender equity, now that person there. Right, so now that make it good for get smaller political parties, because then can able for enrich conversation.
Conversation.
So now that make I think say one of the things that I would recommend now that we get the lower the threshold, so that we can able get political parties, more political parties now parliament, rather than just the SLPP, APC, and I think NGC.
No, well, now SLPP, APC no more.
Yes,
they get
NGC
now.
get councillor. Yes,
Yes, they
Yeah,
get councillor. Yes. But finally, there is this debate as well about redistricting and also, creating new localities in Frita. I know Lawyer Society get a position on that.
yeah.
And, the minister been there yesterday, said and they start the dialogue today. Now, the discussion, now engagement, consultation, now city council. The mayor repeatedly don't say, this isn't right. This is not something that we should do. The minister self-getting on justification. Una still hold on to a position on
Yeah,
that?
I think we position clear. We think this is a whole entire political process. This not get nothing for do with resource mobilization or access or service delivery at all. This is a political process. The same thing way APC been do, where they carry carrying Falaba, and the same thing SLPP want for do with Banda Juma and Panguma. The same thing. So we just get different regime with the same script. And mind you, also with Freetown, the dynamics is such that the current regime feels say you're not to the stronghold, and so dividing up the city would weaken, that political hegemony with the opposition. That's a reality. That's a reality. So all these policy highfalutin, we know they fall for them. If na service delivery, bang, we for don't see say you allocate resources to the councils, and over again you see say the councils not they deliver, but then the councils and the complain say allocation not they come at all. So I think that this is a conversation, and I'm happy that they don't announce their engagement. We don't call on lawyers them for ensure say they go there, so that we can have our voices heard on the matter. Capacitate what we have already. In fact, by the way, we have also called for a reversal of what the APC been do with Karine and Falaba. Because when you create them thing and day, you create a system where they create political advantage. So now that make you get some side maybe the Northwest, where the number smaller compared to Southeast. Then get greater number, but not the same.
Yeah, not the same. Then get representative in a parliament as well.
Yes, even though the numbers them unequal.
Yeah.
So I think that advantage that was created by APC should be reversed. I would support them in reversing that, but I would not support them in creating something where APC maybe in the future will come to power and say, okay, we save the card too. Where do we stop? Where do we end this, right? So I am thinking reverse Falaba and Kaine. Nothing not on change na carrying from where they set up carrying.
The minister said they get hospital now, they get clinic, then they can do the road and all that. Yeah.
I mean that's laughable.
Yeah.
Right? So similarly, I think say what they are trying to do for Freetown municipality is a political process. Capacitate what we have. Devolve them functions and they where the local government legislation acts be non say should be handled by local councils, but you not devolve. You still hold on to them powers and they. So devolve them, give them capacity, and then let we can scrutinize them, let we can analyze them, and say with all devolution, with all resources allocated, we still not get output from them. Well, until then, we think this is an entirely political process where only they seek for give the regime in power a political advantage.
Well, this is a conversation that we're going to continue. The Minister of Information was here instead of getting position on this, and we get for open up the debates. We get for we big debate session them as we they roll out. So we'll get people like Augustine Mara and other people them. They'll get a conversation because what we believe is the more we let the public understand what's in the happen and what's in our position them on issues them. There are things where you don't agree with government this morning. Absolutely. And that is what I keep saying sometimes. It don't mean say for the old people am accountable, we are enemy of the state. No, we are not. No. We're part of the governance, infrastructure. You need people where the old people to account. People already agree, say, yes, this is right, but we can do it this way. That's not the conversation, and that democracy provide for. Absolutely. Otherwise, we all go just sit on more left people let them go. So, therefore, open up the conversation there and get the inputs of the people. Because for me, like you say, the things that the government they do, for be centered around the people. If for be the people and forget a say which what's in the happen. Absolutely. Because it's about me. If you want divide Freetown, let get to say as a Freetonian. Let me fumble them down, Kanike, down by the sea. Yeah. Let them feel, say, yeah, we're part of this conversation. Absolutely. If politicians can go na Kanike, don't then remote community them for campaign during election. Yeah. If you want to bring a new policy, what's wrong for you go there and talk to them. Yeah, we open up the space and talk. Now that's what they try for doing now the morning devotion and truth media. But thank you so much. What's I hope for Salone?
I pray and hope that we would have such a great number of people we go understand say the way we the direction where we country they take unless we get as many people as possible we come on board and push the boundaries of change, we would never get to that place. And people not for shy away from the conversations here. People not for shy away from holding government to account, but also people not for shy away from within government, for look governments within and say, no, I don't think we're doing the right thing, or I think that we should do better. Because I think most of them conversations here internally, some of we know we need people also within, so me hope now that we would have many people who are honest and who are country driven, way for dinner government, way for able for look the presidency, way for able for look at the legislative branch of government and say we can do better for the people of Sierra Leone, way for able for stand up for the people. For able for defend from within. That's
the bigger picture. Yeah. Wherever you do, I think it might not be the Renaissance again, but that's the ideology.
Absolutely.
Of whosoever people in there. You forget them people that we go say no, we think say this is not right. Yes. And that's the only way you get society, not for be perfect, but for be better, for serve everybody in interest. I can say the political parties not just the vehicle. Absolutely. For drive development and all. But the bigger picture is, Umaru can say, not in a power, you push for a law or a policy where we left power, that law they go only bambai.
Absolutely.
We don't see that day.
We don't see
that happen at this country.
I don't see a number of times.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I share a story before we go. It was in public. Remember, say one remember Paulo when he was Minister of Deputy Minister of Defense?
Yes.
We go clean the gallows and all
Gallows.
that, blah blah blah. And then he in a prison one term, and then he made a complaint saying, get access to him book and prison condition.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, you were there, you served.
Yeah.
You know, you
It was internal affairs minister.
Well, yeah. So you for treat prison as though you prepare them for yourself.
Yeah.
Right, where ordinary prisoner forget rights and access. I just finished reading Nelson Mandela in prison letters and keep on 27 years. All the years and me mommy the rights letter now prison. Was given opportunity for rights.
Yeah.
So for treat with prisoners there as though na minister they would incarcerate.
Yeah.
Once you do that there, you dey prepare yourself. Say whenever you go there, they go treat you as though
you know citizen, it's
Correct.
not just
Yes.
your status,
Yes.
and
US
if like you say, if you prepare yourself for anything with that.
Anything.
Now that have been they say this morning about healthcare. What would it mean you see the president gonna cannot? Say now you didn't do me checkup, now they administer treatments to me, then treat me for whatever, or I can do me regular medical. Now yeah.
Absolutely.
How will that turn?
Absolutely,
It builds
absolutely.
trust in the system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's leadership by example and the best
Yeah.
model.
Yeah.
That's the best model.
Yeah.
So if you talk say you don't improve on free quality education, you make sure say for example all who that in a government then picking and they and then public
Yeah.
schools
Yeah.
call a register of all this in picking there, this in picking there throughout the system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When then they go first boku brother we don't care go them picking in a private school say look then go back in a public school. Before you know that one day you will be building public schools because sign go there for contain people.
contain again.
That's the best example. And once you do that day, you get a vested interest now for get good teachers them, better system them for rollout.
Yes.
That's the best model.
Now like say you can't be a cookie seller.
And then you need
You
to
go buy, or you know the headmaster of the school. You begin to go to the school. So I can give practical example about
Absolutely.
leadership and leading by example.
Yeah.
You know the BO cap
Yeah.
and our president dress.
Yeah.
The Africana stuff.
Yeah.
Watch people in government.
Yeah, they all don't take her. Yeah.
Watch how they dress.
Yeah.
That is a practical example. Say people where they serve,
Yeah.
they follow the leader.
Absolutely.
Then one for look like him,
Yeah.
one for act like him,
Yeah.
one for lay, then see themselves in him. It's a reflection. I can say the leadership, the presidency is a reflection of political appointees.
Absolutely.
If the president, they take bribe,
Yeah.
people away appoint, definitely go say, Bola pull the pan in your coat.
Yes.
But if they know the pan not encourage
Even though not to the pine cut self.
exactly, yeah. If they know this is something the PA frowns at.
Yeah.
The PA doesn't accept this.
Yeah.
They need to try.
They need to try.
But now like the home, if
Yeah.
you begin not say 8 o'clock, if we're then at table they study,
Yeah.
once you don't imbibe that day in them, then see I'm in you. Then they practice them.
Yeah.
That is how leadership is for me. I did say I'm again. Watch how president build the dress, watch people in governance, how they dress.
Yeah.
It's a simple example.
Maybe
for
they
me.
just meet up and tell her.
Yeah, well, because then Cisse, then get this, his brand is the Biocap and Elect Africana,
Yes,
a lot of
yes,
it.
yes.
You they see a lot of them, they...
And I think the Africana really fits with president.
Yes, it does. Me and somebody, they get the
Yeah,
conversation, we go Burkina Faso, we could deposit was
Yeah,
saying...
say no why.
Yeah, why the
I think
president looks...
Africana really
yeah,
fits
it looks... And it's na your brand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the posture.
Yeah.
And,
So this is something we agree about the presidency. Say Africana fits. Yes, Africana fits.
So somebody will say always and they
Yeah.
oppose the president. yeah. But that's it. The president is our president. Like Augustine say, some of the things that we don't go through for the previous governments. I just read Facebook, they remind me a few days ago about a post where I make of former President Kuma sending Dr. Samuel Kamara to the UN and not his vice president then, Chief Sam Sumana.
Yeah.
I was very critical about it. That's clearly indicating the fight between them.
Yeah.
And I can recall me have been the only reporter then we asked the State House, former President Kuma, about what's happening between him and vice president.
Wow.
After the program, the vice president came. It shook my hands. Thank you. Because it was something. I've been the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Nobody know and talk about
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
we've been boldly,
Of course,
we were talking about it. And another day we don't imbibe in we self. Say sometimes they think people don't want to talk about. We should raise them respectfully. It's part of we responsibility and rights.
Absolutely.
And you self as citizen get a responsibility and rights. You know, you don't need for wait till something happen. Even if na you party in a power. Where you go na hospital, they ask you for show party card. Where lights they come and they choose which political party host they get them. It's for all of us. So the president is our president. There is nothing wrong to hold him accountable, to ask questions respectfully. He's the fountain of honor and we leader. But not like us. You papa self, you know, I'm not saying we don't grow up in our society. Say, no look us in a year, no ask and question, you big one.
Yeah.
But that is changing. Society is changing. And we committed to this. And Augustine is committed to that. He's still here.
Thank you.
You know, even with all the challenges we did and we inspire ourselves and the movement. We're building a movement, not Renaissance movement, but the movement of citizens believing that they have the power because now we then they can too for votes. Thanks so much, Augustine Soriseng Bemara. We don't get a very good conversation on the devotion this morning. A lot of people, there over 400 people watching and commenting. It's been good, and that's what we promise to provide here for anybody for come and talk. I still look forward for you, Elkas Sano of the judiciary. They look forward for you for come. For Carlo can discuss about the judiciary as well. Now they end the morning devotion, but before we go, I want to call on the president again. That school land, 22,000 United States dollars. Let me just watch the video. Usai then sell. Usai they want build where house. You know, the government land. Na been the Muslim Agency mission then Gina then build this school, a primary school na Kisi. Aja Danke then na them be advocate for this. This na the land if you can see. Na the field land they usai they want sell. They don't sell already. They want build. You know, warehouse, they don't sell the documents. I see they go around social media now. They don't sell, somebody don't begin go bill. The community don't rise up, say, no, we don't think say this ideal. You can't have a warehouse in a compound, so you get secondary school, kindergarten, primary school. It's not right. We need for think, you know. You need for think. That's environment not conducive. So they beg the presidents, Padia, they beg. Them picking them. You are champion of human capital development, free quality education. This is what is happening. Honorable Alpha Khan is aware of this. He's been there. The community still, they say no. Work they go on at the place, but the community, they say no. We don't think say this is right. And at the end of this program, with that video, we talk about land issues. You know, now we're going for play with the end of the program. But I want to thank all viewers them and listeners them on 103.9 on Facebook and YouTube. We appreciate you so much for the support and believing in us, you know, coming to watch us and listen to us. Thanks to my guest this morning, Augustine, for joining me at the program. And we hope say some of the issues that we would raise could be addressed and we will follow up on them and discuss them further. Thanks to my colleagues and the technical and production team. Mina Amadou Lamrana Ba, you boy picking from Kisi. Augustine for ring the bell, I think so. You ring the bell for close the devotion this morning. Just twice, yes, just ring and twice. Thank you so much. Yes, that now so we end the class today, the Truth Morning Devotion on 103.9 FM. The program they start tomorrow at 6:30. Friday edition as we close the week. Today we meet back, but don't forget, they do be sincere, honest, trustworthy, serve your conscience, love Salon as you love yourself. But in everything, stand for the truth and believe say, now the truth the last. Have a lovely day and enjoy yourself. Stay peaceful in whatever you do. Bye-bye.
They demand them. We get forget meeting. We don't get meeting before, but we get forget another meeting. The Ministry of Lands get for did it. Because when I just said the land fiti-fata, I'm going to have a meeting with the Ministry of Lands then it demand them. Everybody with some parliamentarian, the way they sell land. And even then judges, the way they involve in the wrong way. We will respect the independence of the judges, but we will have to call them to order. This is not done. We cannot run a country like this.
And when you want to enjoy them, just tune your radio. You go hear the drama. We man them the grammar. Now FM salon I keep in a party, me say every day. Radio station. For all the politicians, me say right down day. People taking well, people taking jam. Be talking plenty and be shocking one. So argument. Pulling party king day. Opposition they safety day. I tell you. Third first king day. Vuvuzela they safety day. This now we party. Political party. For all the politicians, me say right down there. Because I want to make them know. Now politics don't put me there. Ruling party. Now politics don't put me there. Opposition. Now politics don't put me there. Not force. Now politics don't.
This is Truth Radio, 103.9 FM. We empower the nation.